Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Maricela Garcia. I work at Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families. I'm very honored to have Carl Jerry here from the Marshallese Educational Initiative to help me tonight to talk to everybody in Marshallese, and also Dr. Sheldon Ricklin, who is also here to talk about how early childhood and pregnancy are affected by nutrition. And I will be talking about the WIC program and how we can use that to help. Carlos.
Yawa Olive, ruwainin nga natin yinin in webinarin. Adain Maricela Garcia, nga Jarbalo Arkansas Advocate for Children and Majori, Arut Toro Pamale. Eberijin, Dr. Rigulam, Ter UMS, 8, Tagadawaring Los Springdale, Arkansas. Humanity to kum kanan kan aurokin early intervention aga nununggo ni rutolak kay ipen nunung im namay ajimurungan kararo. Im ngai tito ko jen MEI Marshallese Educational Initiative kanichara inuchon am program director. Yawo im Oliver ruang ini.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about WIC Basics for families tonight. And right now I am going to share with you a video from the WIC state director, because she wanted to be she could not be here, but she wanted to be sure that she could share with you that she wanted to welcome everyone to the WIC program. If you think you're eligible, please go ahead and apply, is her message.
Okay. Imilo tarin kami ang nitin ko yung join video, okay?
Yes.
Arabic ini ko no then director one then WIC ilo state ilo Olive Arkansas. Iminitin ko no ikin da orun imta kumi cuma kaya yang marong then apply. Wawin areng apply im ngo kaya laman ako koniteru ako kumarong pagcibang kain jen WIC. Okay. Naning karangan one mile ako to apply ngan WIC. Im ingin director one state and WIC.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mitzi Fritchen, and I am your state director for the Arkansas Department of Health WIC program. And one of my favorite things to do is to tell other people about our program, what we do, how it can benefit you. I have worked with the Arkansas WIC program over 31 years at this point. I love the WIC program. Obviously, if I stayed 31 years, I believe in our program and what it can do to help Arkansas families live and reach a healthier place in life. So I'm honored today to be here to share a little bit of time with you, just to welcome you robustly on the behalf of the WIC State Office. I want to thank our partners, the Arkansas Advocates for Children and Family, for being such a great partner to us and wanting to help us help you learn more about the Arkansas WIC program. And just to encourage you, if you're eligible, or if you even think you're eligible, to check into our program. I think that we have a lot to offer you, and we sincerely do care about each of you, your families, your children, and it's definitely a goal of ours to do everything we can to assist you in becoming healthy families and healthy Arkansans. The first thing you might ask yourself is, I've heard of WIC, but really what is WIC? Okay, I can answer that. WIC is actually the supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children. So that tells you we're all about helping new moms, women who are pregnant. Our eligibility period goes until a child reaches their 5th birthday. The WIC program has been around a long time. Will actually be 50 years in 2024. The WIC program is a little bit different than some of the other food programs that are out there in our state. We, of course, provide supplemental foods. What varies from other programs is with WIC, we provide a food package, a food prescription that's very specific to the pregnant woman or the child or the infant. So it's tailored to meet just what your needs are. And the foods within different categories are designed to help you and your family meet the important nutrients that are needed. So we provide supplemental foods that hopefully help fill in the gaps of maybe some other services or some other resources that you receive food assistance from in your community. You will be issued your supplemental food benefits on a little card about that large. It looks just like a credit card, but your WIC information is embedded in a little chip. So when you go to the store, it's like using your credit card. And also we have an additional benefit for fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, WIC is also a little bit different in that we do not ask or collect Social Security information. We don't need that to serve our participants. We do not ask about citizenship status. We do not require a visa. So definitely don't want that to hinder anyone from accessing our services. If you consider that Arkansas is going to be your temporary or your permanent home, we welcome you to apply. All we need to know is that you consider yourself to live in Arkansas. The second thing would be that you can give us some type of proof of identity. It doesn't have to be something with a picture on it. Something that has your name printed on it would work just fine. In addition to that, we've got to assess whether you're income eligible to receive the services. If you receive a service like Medicaid or SNAP, you're automatically eligible for WIC. So if you fall outside of that parameter and you need to actually show proof of income, we just need to know what's available to the family for the past 30 days. If you're on the border, we can actually count an unborn child because the income guidelines depend on household size as well as income. The other thing that you may not know is that we do have translation services that are available in our health unit. We have an actual service that we can call and access, I believe, around 60 different languages. We have some staff members statewide that speak Spanish and also speak Marshallese. So we also have materials that are available. So this particular one is our shopping guide, and it tells about your WIC-approved foods in all the different categories. And if you open it up, the food categories are divided into protein foods, cereals, juices, all the different other food categories as well. So we have this translated in 10 languages at this point. But the 3 languages that we normally get requests for in Arkansas are, of course, English, Spanish, and Marshallese. Also, we have what we call our Arkansas WIC program fact sheet. And in the back, it's translated in Spanish. We also have it available in Marshallese as well. So this would be helpful if you want to actually dig a little deeper and find out, okay, where's the closest WIC clinic to me? They're located in health department clinics around the state. We also have an app called My WIC app, and that's helpful to use. You can also find out grocery stores that are close to you, as well as the clinic information. And we have all of our nutrition education modules located there. So that might save you a trip to the clinic if you preferred to do some of your nutrition education in that manner. The other way that you can get more information about WIC than just the brief overview I'm giving you on this recording is that you can go to our website, which is healthy.arkansas.gov. You can also access all of our income guidelines to check that way if you're eligible without even calling. So why is it important for you to consider participating in WIC? We think of it sometimes being more about the food benefits, but there's so much more. There's so many health benefits that come from participating in the WIC program. We refer to a lot of health services that your family might need or be interested in. In addition, we make sure that you're getting all the services that we can provide in the health department clinic. Free shots for your infant when you're there for the WIC clinic. There is no charge for WIC services at any time. So if you're there for a WIC visit, immunizations are free if you get them during that visit. And also we provide things like breast pumps for women who have like a baby in the NICU, or she's separated for a period of time, or if mom is going back to work. We have a team of registered dietitians or nutritionists who can work with our families on proper weight gain during pregnancy and high iron foods. A lot of different entities in a lot of different states have discovered and done some research or some studying about how WIC has benefited participants who received our service up against those who were in a similar life circumstance but did not participate in WIC for whatever reason. And what we usually see is that our pregnant women have a better weight gain, which is appropriate for her pre-pregnant weight. Prevents her from having gestational diabetes during the pregnancy and later on in life. We see that babies are born with a higher birth weight, which usually means they were not a premature birth, which can save very long, extensive stays in hospitals, for instance. In fact, in Arkansas a couple of years ago, our number of overweight and obese children, actually we saw a decrease in our children that were participating in WIC. And related to infants and children, we see better growth, better development, less incidence of overweight and obesity, less rates later on in life with diabetes, particularly if the mom breastfeeds. Speaking of breastfeeding, we also have a 1-800 helpline that's available to you. So we have those support systems for you. And moms and dads and other caregivers, grandparents, whoever the caregiver might be, sometimes might find themselves with some children who have specialized needs, whether it be a premature baby that requires a particular formula to supplement breastfeeding, or for a particular health concern. We can help with that as well. Just work with your provider on getting a prescription, and our WIC staff in the clinics can help you to get everything you might need from your doctor or other provider to help with those needs. We're here to help eligible families to be healthier Arkansans by helping our families with those nutrients that sometimes are the most lacking in young families, like calcium, protein, and iron. And that's why we direct our WIC families towards a specialized list of food categories and certain brands within those categories. We do have some culturally appropriate foods, and more will be coming in the future. I hope that when you go to the grocery store Or you go around town and you may see some of our signs that say breastfeeding is welcome here by the Arkansas WIC program. I hope that that will stick with you and will remind you that WIC is here to help you and your family be healthy, and we can serve everyone. So like our logo says, think healthy, think WIC. And that's what I want to leave you with, in addition to a little slogan that the National WIC Association put on a video a few years ago, and I've always loved it. Your family has you, and you have WIC. So please come on in. We want to serve you and your family.
We're going to turn it over to Dr. Rickland, who is much more qualified than us with all of this technology.
Lo tarin din katala ng Dr. Areng Bainadan pagini. Dr. Rickland, kamot.
Kumulda Rebecca, Maricela, Carl, this exciting night already with all the technical difficulties. It must be a Monday evening. Yakoyolip, wala kamul liro jigan. Nur mejamur. Ita inshallah rilang. Ichonya rejara baro amilo ejmur mengajar belo Northwest Arkansas. Dukun mana muda pro pe marun bakona ilo chotin yang raini ni kichen program ini me WIC chen Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families ko by pen Marshallese Educational Initiative. Ngan karong kejemen cukup barian arang remaja lilo Arkansas en ko by juga chet me ebello Arkansas en kan program in na dan WIC aga women, infants and children. Wuninan enodan merosela karkanan kage king lo ke ke aur bejen lewet kali kar kejen programin ya tada lo kajen majalan rai barar kamal lo kajen Spanish kena ke laga programin ejibang mamaro babaro ajri ro yoman parojo ikien elang menoko laga kajeman remajal elang menoko me yoni ke laga cewek cibang elang jadian cewek cibang elap tada ngaya token ejemori kecian resources ko tage ini me cewek calaga ke pecen marun kamane cokela to me ejemem cicit pen marun emalakan pamale umur jadi ini kecang tekenan kecian karero mamaro elap tada mamaro ini ane meratan pororu argan dan kamane pamale ini ane merit pororu ini ane merit kerai melan ini alikan ergiat lang negir inam ko bakan ningan ko majri ro ini ilgun lap ela bukunin kanono ini mere pakai mengaca marun cover all up kain pata bitan kacung lalang marun kanani kecen menoko mece jioni menoko mece calagagi eno kajiman remaja ila tada ilo Arkansas enam tago ini me program ina no WIC marun cipang ela tada ngait kanani kecen nutrition eji kecen tago me rune aga tago me mamayo ningang ko ramarong mga ramarong raga peren kaka jolo ken penir tago me ito kay auro pe program ina no WIC yo me kumarong lo tiru ngani ini cibang yo kanilang menko im cecala kay chuan kelen mangayo aga tayo me no aga ilgun ngani kain tayo me ela vitamin and mineral boy okay mineral yune kain yan me ejala managandan lengan nijin mo ta janan pororo pino ka ko jin chinol manaka ne eche biyan me kolak rong ko pororo okay nga komiro pa nga bamlo jala managandan kamman nijin pe lengan nijin ajri ela me ko jin kamman mo ta jen pororo me chamatan dar ko prenatal care uninaran kanana ka kay mengen kay Arkansas jala kay rome ken minority group ko war remaja ro ilang year ajri ro na year la takot raja payon recep lukun clip pakamal miner malnourished ilang ro la kita la takot ilang ay nang namit karero ilang yen recep marun takata ken ilang muno ko Akhir alak pororo ki elang problem ko rajwala ko yenen me raj pororo elang problem yi jwala ki lo yenen me rotan kaladak email kan air kaladak im program yan week it kacungan men we in chibang pamalekin karara in majri rain beran mergon ejmur perang lakam men year ajri lakam men year pamale kamanair pamale echon pamale me we me urur yang macam jalan ke yor men go me ngan chon ro pororo ke ene jai guci ngan en punnen pe nammanan mur ene nammanan kialak rutolo kajir lo jen ejmur yang lak latak ejmur jadi an men gen rek kanan ko kum ko jeng ro jaga nge ko jala chone me majal ngan ne jen aga ko ko ngon talangan dipen apoy men ngare ko jala ke chonian men ko me takato ene leo chinon data men ene me prenatal vitamins okay prenatal vitamins ya ke ko ko prenatal vitamins ta ko loan prenatal vitamin me chor boro ya ko jen buga it's like a royan medicaine number chor ba folic acid okay im ka jangan ya barkanan ga aga e jano bar chonian vitamin ko ken ka ro e iron ya ke ko folic acid ko folic acid ken ke chala ga ro me ra jalla ta ko me ja be folic acid pair ning ko emarong kamanan problem ik chen kamilijenan im rilevenan kum ke jong keme me je rajri la ta ko ligier ge jaren pelok rilevel ya manyanganam pabraigi ben chabon ne je majri rote na ge ne je mo rajri on ne jum folic acid e chonian men ko me kwa ko nyen ra okay ilo vitamin kan ne mom em recommendation wa kabila ge ope kaiden me tang lamna kan paroro in chino rak folic acid chon patin chon ran alangan chilu magdajanan net paroro yemen kota ba cerbalan folic acid pen age me work kameliyo yim spinal cord ena najrian enen kien ga roid iron yim ka jo chala iron ko jep iron ken gen kamman patakata chon kara me la paroro ay go pa yang la patakata okay pe kiye ko kamman patakata ngan ko parangan ngan ngayon ni jam okay chon kara me paroro yo jong chapa patakata dimuni nam rak prenatal vitamin ni pen iron kinagen kaman patakata pen marun itu ada oxygen ipam yemi penajri on ni jam okay yang prenatal vitamin yaurut tago cheda me riba prenatal vitamin yelang kopan yelang vitamin A B E C zinc iodine and manganese kinagen manganese ningan yon ne jam ay guji pen marun ejno ay guji pen palang calcium pen ay guji pen palang vitamin D pen all pen manganese right kapman pa ajri yung lak lata ko ke jam ko yani chibang ay pen amman mejan en marun lolo jan ngay rutolo yani chibang ay pen en marun amman clean en amman green en amman ngin all pen manganese ngan ajri yon ne jam ya major chichu ara me rai ba o ego kine para ego mga emang me rai ba omega 3 fatty acid jadi an oil gain me rai ba ligdi pen prenatal vitamin me ya take kene ke ne bar chipang kamere jo na jo okay pel rutolok yang mana ne rek kamere jo yang malan kalamal logojen ijumat ya melata okay nang yo ko take pereng remajal kene ke omega 3 fatty acid ke eleng ipen ye ko ke yang menyengai kue cuan mama ame ko jong enom mga iya gepang ya ko yelo kun cicit pede bar cebang ajar yoni problem ane ko jong walu ko jen prenatal vitamins kena ke elak leng iron ye ke iron ke menga yamman dengan kaman podadak aga ne kaman bininan pello aja okay yang macetro merelak rak prenatal vitamins rabai ibel loji okay elang air constipation ta ko merong kaman e pe jenje boram problem in purak ay wich okay penchi bangyo mga mer ko mer ba elang fiber ye leno wo je ko ene je bar chebang ama yamma gudgut ene je bar chebang penche pello je yamma gudgut chapter pa je chap chi je to malo tv chap chi je to kamao yamma gudgut nge chap chara bal mer gen e ko kiye ko ne kenani ben ta da yamba e wor chi cho uno ko rabanon ka jar bale aga che bale uno ko rabanon ka jar bale kene ke jenen ko pororo Karangan kumigay ba American College of OBGYNs agar cara kami roti jimolog yigichen karai yigichen ejimuran karairo im robororo. Okay. Raja baba kwe chuan robororo which enno kijam which earning kijam. Kwe mengo ko jam mangai ene yuwe jangan ajar yon na yum. Ko jang rongan aramij ba kia ko mangan ro aramij. Mall pada cebol mana karo tane kon yala kala mana bo ngai mangai kan ngam dengan ni ki yala balakam mangai ite ba yala balakam mangai wit la balakan healthy lakam mangai okay wit ne la men kan kijam to ale bien ko mangai kimi me ko mangai ngan ko ma jere ni ba mir ko me rene ko mangai ini ciba ngajri ni te cep tam mangai ya pada mana kan ajri ni calcium ada kaya orang kepem, ini apa ngan dream, yang ngan ngin aja reo ni jam, dream aja reo, yang ngin aja reo, ini percaya nggak, vitamin D, calo baru kita. Rubaro jadi yang rejeki yang tak kata reba, siap mangai yagi kor, medio bayan kejong perangan kajangan, rumah aja lebih warna kaya ilukunen no jami ipa, ya tak yagi gora ga mereka naga charge mi ga reka naga air ke jong charge mi ga me jadi yagalap yagal meto bega tuna magro marlin ole ben yakane kene yakin yego jong lang mercury junian chemical go me enana nganen pun okay elap tada nga ko pororo imalap tada ngan nang me erre ko lawanen pun okay ya balang ilawan peko ipen shark fish go am tal fish go okay ya may menegen ko ko ilukun ka parang wini nam jam mga chaji niyan kinagayene enana mercury ngan ngayon na yun mercury nga kwet kemi mit thermometer ken bugbali na me tup jiri me patoyan drani na me jilbalawan it mercury yan yung ngay rumene ra ba chap chupe man ba ya payin vitamin B itu bar cibang ngana yon ni jam okay eno da ba ngan an bar to lo ke men ngako drag prenelo vitamin mo da janam pororo ilo yanam pororo ini cibang ko ma yon ni jam inna me or ci chuaro me ba yo ki chongan ay ko jene errolo ke jadi ngi pororo kine kile bolo ko me errolo ko me pena lu suwe okay ana jakarangan yo chongan errolo am kia mo da janam pororo ko yo me kwaire karere ene lablok ay ko jeng lablok jene ka merro lo jene yo me emjan kilet karere okay ilo first trimester ya ga weekend chongoro yinon kono yo jangan takto roba first trimester second trimester third trimester kan ke chilu yo man chilu alang okay kan ke chon roboro ke jong pororo rat me jon alang yo jam jer divide lo chilu alang alangkan cilu iman alangkan cilu itu yolap alangkan cilu itu capantara okay alangkan cilu mana melot first time aja ya cetian kocap kele bolok cacong ne no akola yerro lo ke mano pelang lo chuang lo ngal alam pound yerro lo yang cacong ne me kwar cino ga you know me ke jong la bolok amerro second and third trimester alangkan kin kemang longan kin keradam juan jangan tanya me yang manam keleblogi cimatan pound longan cuan pound lu cuan week cimatan pound longan cuan pound ilawan cuan week nalalain ro longan emen pound lu cuan ada okay nge ala blogam kelebjen jangan me erro jen jangan me ko jala ke elaban bajal labam pul mangai kontrole nge cabai ya ko ne barkan ni pun tak rewa nam kia kajangan tan barkan ni formula kan yang marisela ma karena cara berkenan kali itu WIC program nih pe WIC program itu lakukan formula nih raja persibang pe mama ran baron kanini najri ron year keniti jadi lagi itu cuman mama yuni alok jen formula ko pe eju to jen cine eju to jen ngene ko ipen cine ya biar rewata okay Yato jan tulawan lelo ko na go pa na meron erra ko ko nang nang. Iliwan biligan chenchinen ijala ko nang again ya par ruttaray na ero. Meratal chen mama yo ngani pendeng nang yo. Pel na erra ko lok e ka julo kan pendeng. Ya wa me uru. Ya karangan American Academy of Pediatricians agal rain me roti jam lo ke kitchen ejme ora na ajri. Recommendation where pray babai ning yanen mga chen itin chinen ilo alangan chichino elegan ang karuta. Okay, first 6 months. Okay, alangan chilu chichino himanta. Kena cicala ke ajri rame raj kaninin chen itin chiner raj mga chen itin chiner raj mo lang ngirani rutolo. Ijala kon manne ke cicala ke ajri rain wala rutolok racabulukun kele yang mancangan erro kana. Ajari rame raj ko jong formula ketien kinege ito ko ba cecep kana pa ning nancang ito ko ba cen berro najri ki pan najri ki pan najri ki yama kwa ko jen control en lali ke cen jangan ya to ko nya bayam man ko kan ni najri en nejam tin chijeno aleng langan roi chijeno alengan roi aga jabar kile ke yaban pin peran gain mama ro ratala barai ku cerbal jadien men mama ada ku jen cerbal jadien ibenan kanin ini aire no lebien padap emarom patuki emarom kia kampama itin mama ena marom pam innam kakon innam patuki nang okay mecoron ngo kotalam cerbal bayeleng kia kagin koran gin ko marom cerbal eno chuan mama aku maron lelo dena ko am an nejum iluam pam kijen jenipem men gain kijala kay aur men go che balali kijen bottle feeding okay yung kanarigan formula kana che kanarigan milik na ipenjenen pe aur bo kong lak kanini ni ajre nejum ko kanini ni iluam chije te penam chupe patoyan okay jabadalam kababu gi ligati patoyan lo ngi ligat tolen yomen inna madalam kamani men ko jada ko kada lo pen nin kiki lo jalagan man na chabaman pe ene kaman mininan jab margon control yo chongan mana yor chedara me jara ba ki ngadana chiki chino na jiri ki baby food menagana me ki chammil go da lukun mga ke baby food ga ki jong e chino era leng lo chino aleng rotolo ko maron ki chino kamanga e gir pada be yor chedara me kinage ejang perro chang ngen mo kada jan chino analeng bale ne mena analeng ido burin ki chino kamanga e gi bare ba okay jalo chino kamanga e gi ini kalau kancang mall pada bilo chon wang men ke kolak magajam kamanga iki ini la rotolok emang barka ini me igile pelok emang kajan klip yang ngari per je bawo ngigilep ya tapa pajrian junior item jam ke jala ke igilep pe ilang kejet pada mengiyala bam na jirgi ya pe cabam pe kene talam yimmini ni lok iloan rotolok pen perro mga yang lain jangan mga okay emat kaje baroke elegan radum jonan allen ki emarong chino healthy snack okay men len woji ge gana emarong chino mga rolangan chilu chonran okay elegan radum jonan allen em fruit and festival len woji ge gana men go raw beran chino mga na ngade me ko katalaw ben chino mage mga nagay Iraq ko jong eleganan ci no anal okay kono ba kabay na men mera ci bayam ci no Iraq aga elang kali na er kam mane be rancam malong ga ga an cep cep an ru agaran na ron Iraq ci no alang ni jini ko ko marom ci no kira ga ci no kam ngay gin ci bun ci abar ci na ga no innam menagan ni mir okay pelang mamaro yung pabaro rajalaban na lala ajiro na year rekane patoin kanini na yan good Kool-Aid echabaman okay lelok itin chinen menew ilkun ngene ta ta ngaja formula kana meta kata yana menyana kiat kali karenan ko okay Kajongan men be kwenchap chirwa lelok sweet by sugar sweetened beverage. Aga choose aga renage me mjergi chuga gi kare de be gi ajri nan chino Iraq in padu nage en chapchang. Okay. Kita ga ajri re kajong lokon chino era leng lok. Marong kia chino warngir angai regional mangai mirak menangai me mjer tangal kareri ya we chabaman. Yang mana yang mana kita program an week kita lagi elang yan meningin me kajang aja kanan ada. Okay, kita breastfeeding to kajong barcibang. Okay, kita formula milk mangai menangai kita ajari cereal o yang barcuan meni or cicu aramet kita lakukan ada milk lo patoyan Rajil cereal lawan beraja kena kena no den kule encap kule ajarian pe kolak kanne ya makanya kijong kikil ecapaman ke katarkan yana me en mangai encap mangai cereal jam pato ke menoda bailo programan week menoda merisela karkanan kage kinam taraktan na ejir kun ragamen pe nge kuyo chuan kwai guji programin kena ke cecala ke yawara bangku ngan kejaman remaja lo Arkansas Rata ikichen chen, ikichen mangai, elang rome, jabayar chen, jabayar resources ngan ruya. Ngan war programin ngan kain aram bejarot mana. Ini ceper maja lot mana. Elang rojat, elang bar rebelle, elang bar Hispanic, elang reklime jero bar gul pechinam. Mai programin week jera balewangan, pe mama ro, pamaleo, elata ding ro, rendarong la rutolok. Raja me Allah kalau rotolo kan ke ilang kecil recap kulit en no men go kecil rogne ecam mangai pacip agal lukon healthy foods nama jano chon me jami takato me cer palilo Arkansas ini me marong lewa chokonal me ko qualify ngan wek jo jo dalam kajar bale me ko aja nge ko qualify e ko marasela ma crown diranit kamera lagi one rame ramarong apply Orang ramarong pelen teru kain mangai rota kana me ko ma dalam putcikang ka ele mana kajar bale kacidak ngai eja bangot kacungum kana de pen crown diranit marasela kana erci bangkum pen warami access en warami merong atalami pekkejen pamale ne majri walap tada mogda janam pororo yenen ko pororo yenen am nyan leng jam ngane jeme rowan mamayo papayo ko majri rom cukup berio peti jala ga rome yelen kijir yor men go rome rom mangai me rungne e rome rana ejmur yemene cukup me e wa me urun ngan kajo ini pelan pajara kijin payala ba paje kiruru Agi ini pajarang berkorol langan kalnes en merisela perangon malodom pebenadom kali kari kicien programinan week ini stand by out ngan ini me elang kacit elegan ero kualo jore kanana. Okay, back to you, Marisela and Curtis.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ricklin. We appreciate you.
Kanano dadan Dr. Regulum komol kan olibin nanin rajang nanin karong alap tada nanin nakato ko ijalagi ko jo cialam lagi aga cicip kujong act on it so komol kan nam garatan leto cirik melala ko igicen karai kararo im nama jajiri rom bunina na oro ko ren kangi aga mangai ko rene iam orang ngai nungu ilo yenori pelo engineer imi yenori latak imjen ngan ngeri chuana iria week e jangan yenen koi paroro ngan walimia so chijino ngan nga ki pa chijino ni yen program ne re ba la mangai pa chijino ni ya kan ge go ba yenen koi krai yang mai ngai nan dalawa nani nakamola kan Dr. Sheldon kan olivin akato ko ka janga ka kagim par menin kagi memi yugo jugo jong lamana kagi chin nining lo pado lalak tole nyumun menen lalak pede nyumun patoen namu ti imilikani jengo im namu alap tada kulit akhia iga malale kani chen chamanga chajmi paru ku jamba chamanga chajmi ara chupalo to ye kro to ko chichawai ku chen mangai so jonne parmin chapara ka to lo ipen Dr. Sheldon so como tada
Okay. So let's talk about what is WIC.
Okay? Imilo terrain komoroni Marcella kia kononogan tamilalain week.
WIC is a program that's specially targeted to pregnant women, women who have just had a baby in the last year, infants, and children up to age 5.
Okay? Week ragar takade im kamane programin ngan karairo mira paroro karairo ningining ro rega platak ajiriro chuang langan walimiyay.
And it's a health program, not a food program. So this is different than SNAP.
Imchon men kajengay wujala kay week age ngan ejimur ngan karairo majiriro. Yokotak chen snap pwit snap kumorong wiya chaborot kay mangay. Aga itongan week age ngan ejimur wanchon karay imajiriro.
So it not only provides those nutrients that Dr. Ricklin was talking about that you need when you're pregnant and that the baby needs and the child needs, but also it provides education and referrals. They help with breastfeeding. So, and with medical assistance.
Okay? Imi week itchabuto ko atakan anagat takado rigalang kono no kitchen mga ko kuje kujin kangi eno mga ko rene agay paray nuat river katon yo yung education yung kitchen ejimur yung paray nuat nge kami nge logo kuje kuje rich echup kami ang rich ay wit chibam alabalak din menuko community waji rani par lala kata mangan choko mere ramarong chipango kaki kitchen karam ayre.
So why is WIC important? We know that it can help reduce premature births, and that is really important because if the baby is born early, there's a more likely risk that the mom is going to have problems or have to have a surgery.
Okay, im eno tayo regar kamala lagi takto arang kamala lagi kakain kaya lang ni itaboy anilo and punin chuan mama im alagadan ni kamur emorong ko emorong ajirian ni emorong makajan aten latak im kajan kujong pa ko ajirian.
So then we know that it reduces the risk of babies dying in the first year and mothers dying in the first year after the baby is born.
Im chibar river kala ke e karigulak an no then mid ajiri im parainwat par chinir.
We know that it increases the access to the nutrients that we talked about, but it also improves diet quality and gives you access to healthcare because there are nurses on staff at WIC.
Im kami ang rival lo week na naman week e jigri ngan alabalak ay kadin ng gitchen hen kay eno all of you menuko takter lang akarkanan kono no kaki chen ayin ngan protein ngan calcium ngan vitamin ko ya karbatan kagi kay im elang im menigay rani kadin yung bay elang no ilo programin.
So we talked about it provides foods high in nutrients, right, for the growth and development of the person at that time. So it's different versus if you're pregnant versus what you need after you've had the baby.
Okay, imo katakan bar week iyo baratan kadin yung kitchen yung kalap ano ko inot ayin ilo anajirian irutolak imilo yenen ejbello yinjinen.
It also provides educational programs to help improve diet and health habits. They have cookbooks so that you can learn how to cook with the foods that they're providing.
Yung parain mo dilo week ilang ay cookbook aga rejibin kamat ngan mga ko me ren mga ko me rejimur ngan karayo imajiriro.
And again, they help with breastfeeding if that's what you want. If you don't, they help with formula. They also, if the baby needs specialty formula, they have to have a prescription formula. WIC can also help with that.
Imbarano ilawan ka malalagi kay ilang what was it?
The specialty formula, if they need a prescription.
Oh, alangi then kokonan alangi ko kaninin. Raybar chibang jen kadun ko kilen kaninin. Imelang pamako ramarang bali waji. Ngokone jay kuj. Ang ko chip kanan kaninin o kaya balang formula ko inotan kartak darileng kono kaki im merisala kanan kaki elang bar formula. Iam ngan ajriro me reji kujin specialty like a raigu o katak miluko jen regular miluko raiguji. Ako week emarong bar chibang kaki menakane.
And I think this is really the most important part of what we can show you about WIC, because when we talk about it and we say, this is how much food you get, sometimes people don't realize how much it is, right?
Ilo ami ilo pijane kay olive in food package yo ako olive in menuko me chuan ajiri ako chuan mama krai ako ruparoro ejay guji imo olive in menuko kala lali ke reyet ako mo lagay dun lapangan chuan pamali ngan karai imajiri yo ni.
So on this side here, this is what a pregnant woman is going to receive every month from WIC. You see here, they're going to get 4.5 to 5 gallons of milk, a pound of cheese. They're going to get egg. They can get beans, peanut butter, cereal, and then there's a fresh fruits and vegetables benefit.
An kararo me robaroro kumi ang ilo wat jongon miligana ranila langane jede ji ranila langane imna mo bean flour imna mo fruit aga vegetable okay imna mo yadan juice go ngananda cereal so olive in menige inige ngan jon robaroro im ko ready boji tarin lo chonalang.
And so the question is, if you are talking about this much food, how much do you think that bill would be in the grocery store if you had to pay it yourself? Right?
Kalimija ko olipin tinaba olipin lizin mga me kuni jay kuji chuan probaro ay kuji wala lali jate na jen kuni ka chola kaya lang ko chepelo program in week ako ko ngai.
For sure over $100, because the fresh fruit and vegetables by itself is, I think, $44, right? So this is a program to help you supplement what you already have. So that could be with SNAP, or that could be with your own resources that you have.
Itama kani labala kajin amarong chubugi tala cicet pai ilo tereni kaya labala wanin aluminium itu ko dengan fruit and vegetable agak lawanir. Ia mene mani na mani apply ako kanengan week ini kakubabangan par mga ako kuni wigi jen snap ngayon snap ako jen magi jen ko ini cipang ini kakubay ki pain lang alak mga ilang mayo.
And so you can see the difference too, that after the baby is born, this is for a woman who is not breastfeeding. So they're giving the baby formula. So you see here, they need less milk. So they only get 3.5 versus 4.5 to 5. They're still getting eggs and cheese, but the juice is gone down to 2 instead of 3. The beans are the same, but you're no longer getting peanut butter. And the fruit benefit is going to be slightly less.
Im kui lo katakin ngan mama ngan kararo me ilang nijer emjer kalatak im recep kaninin kui lo atake irikala kupan food package na air ke irikala kajen ngakoi chino pararo.
And so here we see again the difference between somebody who's breastfeeding exclusively or partially, like you're breastfeeding but also helping with formula.
Okay, im koi ballo ako takin ngan kararo me re kaninin what ilang la kopan ngan kararo me re kaninin pato koi ballo ako takin na okay. So rani pait kamane wata karangan kacucuan karaim takori kamani ngan iri ngan ajrio okay. Ngeri kaninin what elabalak ngeri kanininum cep impato aku formula ilang ko.
And I think this is important, right? Because WIC is here to help and they want to be flexible. So if you're breastfeeding, that's great. They're going to help you with that. If you want to be on formula or you can't breastfeed, that's fine. They're going to help you with that. If you can breastfeed, but you still need additional formula because you're not producing enough milk or because you have to go back to work and you can't pump, that's fine. They're going to help you with that. So they try to be flexible to be able to get you the nutrients that you need depending on your situation.
Im eno dakar bagay meno ilgun aurago meno yang manin pello programan wikai rek kamani akarangan kajujujon karai puenge koi kaninin ko cepato aku kaninin wat kira ni kamani yang akar mengai kanengan koi akan ngoi kaninin eno dakar pa empato kira ni bar kamani akarangan kadan karai ang koi kaninin cirik im pato cirik pai koralim jarabal aga ngai kucen marung pamilik jen pamilik ako rani barci baka menu ko yang ngai cala maurok kai rani kamane yak karangan karayo.
And so here, now we see the infant packages, right? So this one is 0 to 11. This one is 9 to 11 months, partially breastfeeding. So in the first month, there's 1 can of formula. Remember that this is partially breastfeeding, so there's also pumping milk.
So kia ngan ajiri ngai emyan latak ajirian komyang iloi jin kaya kalatangan jongu chuan aleng chonod milik kanigay koi loge reba partially breastfeeding aga 8 breastfeeding aga 8 pato 8 milik.
And so as they get older, the amount of formula changes. And you see here at 6 to 11 months, they start to get fruits and vegetables and 30 to 4-ounce jars for babies here. And then also cereal, and they're still getting formula.
Okay. Im ko iloi alak ruto alak ajiriran aga ilang alak milikan ay im namu jinjino ngan jongu chuan aleng kio rokota jen milik begino ne me richino mangai ni meno tan kar takter rilang kar kamalagi gay chino aleng yino ne me richino kajar balkap im jubut im yino ne me komarong najir gier.
And here, this is an alternative to this. So once the baby gets 9 months old, you can request to have fewer jars if they're already on more solid foods, and you can get the fresh fruit and vegetable benefit for the child.
Yeah. Nge ko jelo ge ajrio aga ajrio ni jum red ramarong kia mangai go mi rep ne ge ngan wan jango ka ren ngan wan jango fruit and vegetable go cereal go kia konilo anu ko takai jen barit ko takai cirik jani ji wut cirik ne ga ajrio ni jum aga nunungon ajrio ni jum mai radum jon ngan jongo jon aleng amarong kia mangai go repen im konilo ane den rigala ka den baby food irigala ka kopan miligan kana ini men im cereal kana richuan wata ka fruit im vegetable mj ko pai kilo food package na.
And then here we see the difference between, like here, this baby's partially breastfeeding. We see how few cans, right? Or the difference. And if they're fully breastfeeding, instead of 1 can, they're going to receive, what is this? 9 cans.
9.
Yeah. And then it'll increase here again. And then once they get 6 to 11 months, same thing. We're going to add fruits and vegetables. And so we're going to decrease the formula a little bit. But again, these are packages targeted to what the baby needs.
Okay. Im ko yelo ogata ko me kumara kalak chinon me koi kaninin akot tabal pado maten ninin kanini ogata ke jin join ngan julu akat join wat formula ke kia emyan radam join alak bar luto alak alang na yan ilang lak jin chongon nay kia jin jino ngan jongu join alang chala ko kotak rela wado chununguro 주는 거 baby food tem cereal kana rechangan ko tak kia
Important thing to
Ada.
notice here.
one
Oh,
more
sorry.
for the last part kemi mi ba olivin packaging ray liwa jangan ko ray kamani akarangan ajriyo ni jam
So an important thing to notice here, right, is that there is not juice in this package because the baby should not be having that sugar that comes in the juice at this time, right? So all the way to 11 months, there's no juice in the package. We're looking for fresh fruits and vegetables or, canned fruits and vegetables. But juice, the amount of sugar that can be in that you're feeding the baby, it can cause problems with, pre-diabetes or diabetes. It can also cause problems with their teeth, their permanent teeth, even though they haven't come in yet. They can have dental problems already.
im ko mi nga ilo ko ta kini ilo pisa ko jununan mama ilang aga kia ngai compare wat ilo ajriyan ala latak it chala keren it chala juice ilo food package ne kini ko chuan ralak rutto alak ke eno dareng gujung mininim chala ke choran ngi tangal lang ngir aga chi chala ke rin rutto akum nana ngir chuan menone king kayon king karwo lamarong tangal aga chi jaji kini jongon ne tangalena ajriyan ipo ke yamarong lang nangan mi imeko erogo me ekonono kaki imeko me Dr. Sheldon Arbor.
And then once they are 1 year old, they move from formula to regular milk. Also, remember though, if they need specialty formulas still, or for example, if they had problems growing, right? You see that called failure to thrive. You can get Boost, which are the supplemental drinks that cost, I think, $40 a can. That is able to be prescribed still, even though they're getting the milk. So even though at this point they're not on formula, they still can get that specialty if they need it.
Okay. jen ajriro mi jen juanlangan emenia ko ilo de kia ego tak chirike elang milik elang leb elang ju elang bar menogo pinim chala ko tak menogo me rom mangai mira kemi mi jodo boyeden alang ko ilo ko ajrio ni jem changan ye kala ko jen jongane aga rutolak ala ka jongane wat morong ka chide ipen no je ilo week imam ramorong ladan pa elang ke menin ko morong kamani jadi en re lewa milig mere babus ijala jadi areng re rage pe ken ge jadi areng ke elang ni jira yiri ladan eto ay rutolak ay rakalak emu milig roto ko kanai elang milig par space aldi milig romorong rak patap eje wujin lang no jenta kata yawan prescription jenta kata yawan.
And the last thing about this is you see, like, once they're 1 year old, the package is mostly the same as it is for an adult. It's just that it doesn't have the fish or things like that. But this again is targeted for the age of the child.
Imano da karba okay echala kuyerito ko tumloy echala ko kota food package na jirio chinen.
So who's eligible for WIC? Again, pregnant women who have had a baby up to 6 months if they're fully breastfeeding, women who've had a baby if they're fully breastfeeding or partially breastfeeding up to 1 year, infants, and then children up to age 5.
Imundo qualify agar ro marang apply ngan week. Rubaro ro kararo mere kaninin pato agar kaninin kararo mere kaninin wata agar cepato ningunungko im namui ajirito cinjuan langan lalimia.
And it's important, even though you see these in a list, right, to remember that each of these people qualifies separately. So you don't have to worry if if the mom is missing a document, for example, and so she can't get that document right now, but you have what you need for the baby, you can apply for the baby.
So ijalaga kumyang irito ko dagay komroy kanan o dagan karay kay imajiriro. Patap alang eden palang aga pabaro romorong para apply. Haramiro me ajiririn rey peri romorong para apply. Ngan moanchongok ngi chinen peri chinen aga ilang jet document paper marong jago juan aga jago ro. Ako jemene morong wan mala ko tu mapalay ngan ajirira. Mayen chinin apar dog paper ko kanim chinin morong adan kwalo ko king kamol.
And so we saw this question come up on Facebook this weekend. What if it's the dad that has papers? Can they apply for the child? Yes. What if it's grandparents and the child is living with them at that time? The grandparents can apply. You don't have to show legal proof of custody. You just have to show that they live with you.
Okay. Imun namaro then kwalo adan kajitagin adan konono adan kenege kumrapar kamani juan live Facebook kay lo jari reo. Yang may kajitagin nakarutok nim kajidag wan adan jemera ka jibuyir romorong ka apply. Imu wako jahit. Nge ajiriro lo jogo ibam nim rekigi ibam komorong apply manir.
And so a lot of people think if you don't have the mom, then the children can't apply. That's not correct. If the children qualify, the children can apply.
Atan mengi itaku chun yain chininim jamin aga nge ajirian ino tapa ajirian beripa reni qualify ngan ren morong teru aga tabarangan WIC.
So what are the requirements? You have to have proof you live in Arkansas. You will see this on papers that they have. Sometimes they call this proof of residency. WIC does not require, nor will they ask, what status do you have? You do not have to have any status to be able to be eligible for WIC.
Okay. Imchonian menukomia rejaden kujong kachedak ejikichen kamol ko kuipello arganjo aga proven other jawam. Melalin ber kachedak kotto kujinya ko US citizen in arganjo. Menodonenga kuchogo ilo arganjo.
And proof that you live in Arkansas can be a letter that was mailed to your house that shows your name and your address, bills from the hospital, or even hospital records. So there is a lot of things that you can use to show that you live here.
Okay. Yung elang pipa ko king kamol komarong putogi ejub kan pilo tagay aga emorong recordin kar ajbadal ngapar pello ajbadal aga latayo chun lata yatamay peri impukikilo ataraja.
The second thing you need is proof of who you are and proof of who your children are. So that can be passports, I-94, that could be birth certificates. It could also be, for example, if you have lost your passport, this question came up. What if you lost your passport and your I-94? Then it could be your medical records, because those are official hospital records with your name and your address, and they will help you. Again, WIC wants to be flexible with you to make sure you're getting the benefit.
Yung menu king karwo ejengan king kamol kaya ajiriro piba kamol ajiriro to kajenya ngai kumarong alange echalagan page po tagay kumarong gajara bali medical record ko dakar pa kay kumarong pupoto medical record wam kwalok tagay other than koin lo pibayan kenenge kachidugo jon ekarudugo jare reo ejikichen ngai chalagan page po. So ngai chalagan page po daga I-94 kumarong kwala la ko tujo kwarta ko yi aga menda ko kwar peri kachidag record wa namoy kumarong po to pibane katabarawan week ejengan kararo baron ejimuru majuriro baron ejimuru.
And then the last thing that you need is proof of your income or that you don't have an income. You have to be less than 185% of the poverty guidelines.
Im check stop menukin kajulu check stop ko ama ka puro income ya ama kay im kay ko kamani erikala chubugi radong lalim percent ngaya tay ya ilo chongon na ko kamani.
And if you don't have like printed pay stubs that they give you, they'll let you show them from your phone or your bank statements on your phone, or even the last tax year records to prove your income.
Ngay itchalak check stop pay ba ipa mo kay kumorong kajara bale talbon na among kalo ko milala ko tangan year. Emorong statement jen pangawam emorong check stop amilo talbon am ngay elangam happen jen munjara bale nam. Menugo im nam income tax amilo kariya.
And so one other thing that's important about flexibility, if we are talking about a family, so there's a husband, a wife, and 2 kids already, but she's pregnant, they need to earn $4,625 or less.
Okay. Kumiyang rito ko dum lalay guideline ni kalajara kun chatay chuan aram yuro lojon parwa jagay. Ngano pa juan chong ko. Nge kumiyang emen jamen jininim ruajari ko jigujin kamani chongone emen taujin jino pugi rongo galimilo chuan alda.
And let's say that they make $4,626. Because the mom is pregnant, WIC will bump you to the next level and you will be okay to qualify because they will count the pregnancy as an additional person in the household.
Kaniga kumiyang emenod kumiyang kay aga nge mama ebaroro rani parpune ajirian lojin chinen. Yamuit kwaje gujin rani pamyo rani lelang lakway ngan lalim taujin 418. So kwanit teru. Charaningo emen aga kaniga rani pune ajirian lojin chinen.
That's why it's important not to count yourself out and say, I just don't qualify. You should, if you think it's possible, you should go and try.
Yung nga ko jabatan laman ang radagay ngo ko jabune ko ako ko wan teru ngan week. Ang ko lo yung tama yung kile kay pune teru apply kanengan week.
And this is a difference in the WIC program that they have this flexibility versus SNAP. SNAP is not going to count the baby. So your household size for SNAP is going to be 4. Your household size here will be 5. And so you can have SNAP and WIC. That's not a problem. But remember that there's flexibility here. So just because you were denied for SNAP doesn't mean you'll be denied for WIC.
Manot kagay may boy. Meno ogota kan week chen SNAP okay? SNAP alang kumiyang emen ne jamenot raban puni ajiria. Ye munna chediyan munna amne enot amlo aten household size ne chongon ko je bujing kamane ekkaranga chongon pamlian amlo chon parwa jaga. Alang aten ejijat raban kobante rungan SNAP. Kaniga recep puni ajiria. Recep kamane ekkarangan koi. Aga ngukutongan week right flexibility kay elangay ramorong kamano ukota echalak chora imkuni teruwat kwani pa teruwat ngan week so ukota ka wana kay ngan week im ngan SNAP imalangay ko laman ako kwarjep teru ngan aten SNAP kanigo gunna recep punya olepen ajirine aga week right punya.
Also, if you already qualify for SNAP, or you already qualify for Medicaid because you're pregnant, or your children qualify for Our Kids A, you automatically are going to meet the income requirement for WIC. So you automatically are going to qualify there.
Okay. Ngan pat kagay may medyo kay alang ko teru ngan SNAP aga pustam When currently teru ngan WIC kanige committee guideline ini kai im namo yatan nge kwaj pello arkids A koni teru ngan WIC mo pello Medicaid insurance in Medicaid ane koni par teru ngan WIC ngan kararo me retta kata rabaroro.
So the best thing ever, there's no application form, right?
Imeno yang mandada ngan WIC kwajab kanne abal gayen kwaj kwala ko WIC ilo county yo kwaj pariye im kamana appointment.
So yes, you just call the local county office to make an appointment, but also if you are in Little Rock, but you live in Fayetteville, let's say this week your job sent you to Little Rock for the whole week, you can call the Little Rock office because you're here right now. You do not have to wait. Once you know you're pregnant, you took a pregnancy test at home and you're pregnant, then you can go and apply. They do not require proof from the doctor because they want to get you the benefits as soon as possible.
Okay. Im alange koi logo koparoro yung koi nangan mi. Im kukanan cipang aga apply ngan WIC. Kacu kuala la WIC im rapan ai WIC kacita kin kamu lega koparoro. Nani kamane kone talo tum kamane appointment nan mo koni kanani penajaran lo WIC.
So again, if you think you qualify, you really should apply because there is possibility to get the benefit. And
I'm sorry if there's no movement in the office, the light goes off.
and also if you have questions, if you're not sure if you have the right documents or whatever, or if you went to the office and you have you got denied or you have an issue, those are things that you can always talk to me or Colness about, and we will be I will be able to take that information to the state and say, hey, this lady went with her medical records that has her address, so she met identity and address right there, right? And she doesn't have any income, and she had a letter that says that from her neighbor or her boss, whoever she lives with, right? So now she met all three, but they denied her because they said that she didn't meet the income, but that was not proof, right? So I can talk to the state and they can call the office and say, you have to fix this.
But yun ale ngan ro kararo aga mamando ngkut claim logo im lamnak ke komarong apply ngan WIC im komarong teru ngan WIC wan mala ko dum kanne aga kwalay WIC obidya wan WIC ilo county o kwat pari im bartuan alange kwatalim kanne ge im rejab kojab teru kenige ngan wan jang ko inot be ba ko komara kanan ka ge document menigin judu ruo rabari pam tuan kin kamol wan koy kin garwo kamol yayo ko chogoy la aragan chaw ange ko chepu rijarabal ko changin gar charabal agay minyan armijo ko chogoy penum kin kamol chegi chuan na dam ba ko chep charabal agar rejab ko jep teruwat o komoron kole nga o komoron kole mare sala kay kanige emoron book ngan lurarak ngan meno bije in do state ilo aragan do state im kamalagi kachida edako kumyang jepteru aga karayo aga mamanya chemena jiro jepteru so unan ko jang amman nge elang elang men ko jep rejep katalago pe kon kamani akarangan men ko komori kono no kaki o padagum komori pikot kila.
So if you have any questions for me or Colness or Dr. Rickland, now is the time.
Okay, alang ilang kachita kilo terin kia im kamengit perochin o wan malago dum ligot kachita kwamilo jadana.
You can put them in the chat or the Q&A. We'll wait a little bit to see if anybody starts typing. I know that we had questions on at the Facebook if they help with pumps and breastfeeding, right? They do provide pumps for you if you're gonna try to breastfeed. They can help, they have people to help you learn how to do it if you've never done it before.
Okay, agar tu kacari dia me kamera dan berkaman live Facebook okay. Agar kaji tu kitchen nge week ejel leo to kotan kin pam kai emojing ngai rejel leo to kin pam im rei bar kaden mio kajarabal pam yo email ngen ramani kaden kaden yo ka kai meno king karuo kaji tu ko jon bar kai igi chen tini kai nge re chungujuan chungujum ai ria aga then kenege agar tali mapalai kai agar raiguji karatan kin kamol chen biological mamawan kenege jogoi pen pamalan larugo jaran emoi ejep teru kenege ejep kiki pen jininum jemen aga jininum jemen raiguji kin kamol kai nijier endo air kar kamelo lagi ngane namu ejep kiki per akenege chinin ejago emoi matan kachutoko kane nge chongol chimyon watania ke etini jaga yakana na palai jangan teru kachutoko kana kamero ini pat pukut kelen jebanger cemene morong kara palai tu cemena kara palai.
Okay, if there's no questions, then I want to thank Dr. Ricklin. I want to thank Carl Ness for doing this with me again. And if you have questions, you can always contact us, Carl Ness and Maricela. If you're not sure and you want to check it out, what you have before you go, or if you have any problems, always you can call us or email, and our information is going to go out in the email when we send the slides. We're going to send in English and Marshallese, and we're going to send you the video that we couldn't do. And again, I just want to thank Carl Ness and Dr. Ricklin so much for being here at night on a Monday and working through all this technology.
Okay, kanano kamolo ole brora ko patok padabiganan moda kamolo takto rilang kanan gatolog yinawani mtogum joini komoro mere salai ngan kamalo lagi week im da orogun week ijalagi elang melolo ragar rojo ido jodenin rainin im ngan bar kagay mimi jodo bange alange elang kajide kumyang jeblukun calai ya ko tangane aga ta ko jegujin poto ki pe ba ko no jebet ngai bello imi ya komorong kodok mere sala ya kal digut talbone wanlo janai emo then yo erumut aga elang tekino ko problem aga komol kana miyang kal parot alap tata takter rilang imperio yo me kami nagar kwalo koy chen tarak state director on state community board chiningon.
Okay, we do have a question. Are there any measurement requirements for moms and babies to eat from the supplements or the formulas? So there are not measurement requirements for moms. It's just when you're pregnant and then after you're pregnant, the packages change. Babies, it's different. They do have appointments so that they can check height and weight at WIC. Let me stop so that Carl Ness can say that.
Echala ngan kachito ko me elang ke rege pauni aga me yera ajurio ajurum jinin ga lale tongon mga kan ipugi ga imilo teri ne chalak patap nge ajurio ga ngan ajurio ngokoi poto ko ga re pauni re jagai ai to kon jagai alap kai ne ga emi jeni jo ogotak chirik ngana jurio jangan mengaku ipugi jangan yorni dalam food package kemi mi week ejengan ejemur ogot agajin snap emi jaten alange eden ejidongan pauni yang major engineering jemere engineer majirio echalak patap ini kamane food package nan ekarangan ajirian imakarangan chinen jangan mengaku ipugi.
And then when we're talking about babies, there is a certain amount of growth that the doctor or that the WIC office nurse is going to expect. So if they don't see the weight increasing, right? So in the first month, sometimes we see a lot that the baby's weight can go down. That's nothing, as long as it's not excessive, it's normal. But by 3 months, they should be growing. And Dr. Ricklin, I think you can tell us better, like what weight they should be at what part of their life there.
Como Dr. Rigelam.
Ya ko ya le be me kun chumi me ro kanan ga. In the first rokojong ba chongol pachen and birth weight and ko luji lo weekend ken kajuan. Okay? So you lose 10% of your birth weight in the first week. And but if you lose weight, if the baby loses weight in the first week, and then you lose weight low weekend, normal. Okay? Tapi ne ba tamba urre tapi kan. Okay? Okay, normal. Echa matanan you could draw your lot and and then Marcel, I'm just gonna make a few more points as well. Ngan balukun kamejalak yatake our week ngan mama madriro. Jajar chalage romero pello week a care kujumba lolo takatoro. Okay. You can prenatal care and make it chain ajrio and I lolo takatan ajrio. Yang majiki week cara recherable pair recherable pentakatan yang muniner chala ta formula ta ikitiana re regalakom krocha kan air Jonian mereka me emanya lo Arkansas in lo jadi ane kata kaya kai kita lagi remaja rubororo yang ajriro ya kaya rubor corren rejwalang air compare dengan rebellero rubororo Elang loket karain majal cakoran ngeciyet compare dengan rebelle racago jen meorin elegan alek nejir. Cederaga cedian ajri rain men nejir menge cepariyet compare dengan rebelle rane aga elang yan ajri rain rajabar cago jen meorin ceno dan nang nebe. Kene elang menoko. Okay? Nganuan cengok cederaga remaja ro katan air water corren ipen ajrium corren nang nebe jam cago compare jon rojet. Ko bay ipen mamaro. Kita lagi ipen remaja cengoradam jon pecen remaja laga ajriro ningen ko mero jika pulo takatok. Eja bayral. Compare ngan nationwide ilo Amerikain radam jon point jono. Cengoradam jon pecen compare ngan radam jon point jono. Okay. Ngan ajriro mero jala takatok. Cengolalem pecenen ningen majaro ramera low birth weight eja bayar pound compare ngan rari the point lu pajan yang mai hela men go che mara mari ke centa kana me chamarong kamane aga chonian men go chamarong kamane pa ne amman yang rol ngan wek keleo me ko ne chala ba kon maron tiru ya man ngan pamaleo apply orang kacida ki ora bango ya ko meres alam karena senem kumarong perkeda gitu Kumangambol. Thank you, Maricela.
There, I was talking when I was muted. So one more question, Dr. Ricklin. What types of things do you see that that would require then for you to give a prescription for the baby to get the special formula? What kinds of things are you doing that for?
That's a great question. And yung kachida ko ba tayo me eno chuan takada ngaye ko jen mano ba en war kajen formula ko me rene la ko jen regular formula. Okay? Emet kanana kan takada. Yung nana barao ra kan ba chuan ajri en waran takada na ajri. Okay? Pero rejo ko lore rejo lawan aj pidal nganair rigam rotolo gilo lawblik kilo mo ko mayer. Yang macam ko ro ko yung chala jana aj pidal rejo kichen ngaden karchate an karero chate kan ai to kon chate kan kleben paran Yung majol ben menengara rajaba birth weight vital signs. Rajlale ki kitian taka na me cheten namba ko air. Yung kalau katalam takada ki ajare uni jam kin ka juman. Rana jepar pauni, rana jepar chonge, yung rana jepar lale chongon keleben baran. Yung majol ben menengara rajlale. Yung eor kelen namba ko me ko rajaba crow charts. Okay, melalain iloan retolo ka ajare your nambayan chit kilege logon chilu aleng logon ro aleng yana ka rere ka log chongon yin yana ka rere ka log chongon yin yana ka chongon yin paran okay ya man nge chit kilege echep lore line echep chiche da kargan kro chate nan chongon yan yana ka chilu aleng chijuna aleng ratam jona aleng chuni yo kiyo jeno na me chiki ya ka chete chiki kachite yor ke ta nang na me chipena chiri kiyo ko kanna de pen mama am baba tahu kamani ej mangake ej kato jake yo chongan ki inam nge ej kilege ej apa yo ne ej mangai pen ilo ninnin ne teblo pado aga chabrot kain kiyo jene on chelage formula ye ene kargalo formula ye ene jamano pen ergalo ko merro lokom ej no ne majuna na robe ilo yene ga me ora na appointment ajiri ronne Shibum, Chujum Pokolover and appointment. He pay repeal or get lale, but Namajallo Chorengo, Yamagajallo and Nangamigo, Ibru Rolokujum, Manamarajan, Irumayam Polo.
Well, we have another question. This is something I believe that most of our moms don't understand is the formula measurement, like the percentage. Is there a plain language example we can use to explain to our moms?
That's a good question. Okay. A carry kin chongan and a Katakan formula measurement. Okay, by Yalago formula and a Karangan formula tan Chedianam scoop Comaron Kajarabale, and Chede Renian Iloan Patoyan. Okay, you get your raw on it, Chijana on it, Chilu on it, Alda on it. And what you get when you now by our way and Mama and Takato and Bologajarian, and the Ian Takato and Gia and Maron Gia Kali Karanque. Okay, you get your chongan and made pocket, can formulata. All the formula you could have chongan and gani. You might get go me or supplemental formula ye, get go me a chip, keep with Lally and them Comaron. Nature be a man and Mangaya, you Pirugagi, Penlogin in a Jacaranta.
Again, okay, so we're running up on time and we don't have any more questions. So I want to thank everyone who came tonight and thank you, Dr. Ricklin. Thank you, Carlness. I also want to thank my colleague Rebecca, who's behind the scenes helping us with all of this. Thank you so much, and we'll be sending the information out to you so you can have the resources.
Como
Como
Dr.
Dada.
Riguelam?